Welcome back to video 3 of module 1. Finding your super niche. What is that actually? A jack of all trades is a master of none. Robert Greene, dramatist. You know what? We found that thing. I think it's okay. We all kind of believe that, but I'm more and more convinced that this is not always true. But the reason why I chose this quote is to show that with the help of finding a super niche for yourself, you can actually specialize in one field and become the best in it. So let me show you how we could do that. So let's start. What is a super niche? It's a field for a specific industry that needs filmmaking or video services, like, instructional videos or commercials, promos, documentaries, and so on. The smaller the super niche is, the less competition you have. And I will show you, how to do that, how to find that. A super niche is profitable because you become the industry expert within your super niche, meaning you are not becoming the expert necessarily in, how to make a film or, like shooting and directing, but rather that super niche that you chose as a field that you service, over there you become an industry expert within that super niche. I'll show you how. So some examples of broad niches. So there's feature film, TV, commercials, internet, documentary, industry and business films for, let's say, a specific field. For example, medical field or the real estate field, or for corporations, movie trailers, music videos, event films, wedding films. Now, how do we find a super niche? So first you need to answer a few questions to yourself. To which super niche do you feel connected or you have already an interest in? So I want to really take the time here together with you. This is really more practical because this is super crucial that you write this down, that you are aware of, what is that super niche you want to work in? Is this, making commercials, corporate film? Is it like documentaries? Do you want to go into feature films? It's a whole different ball game. What approach you have to do, people to find, and offers to make. Who do you already know in your circle that is working in that super niche? Basically, who can who can actually help open a door for you? Ask yourself, who do you know who already in that narrowed down niche So I give an example. I know a lot of people who work, as doctors in the hospitals, nurses, and so on. So if I would want to go in the medical field and make kind of medical films, medical videos, or documentaries, whatever it is, I would approach those people. I would put them on, a sheet of paper down, so that you have it right there, so that you get kind of an overview. I know we all tend to think, I have it all in my head. No, but this exercise is really to visualize what you have in front of you, what you have in your circle. Because later, we will need to use this paper in order to determine which direction we go. Also determine roughly which super niche has high revenues. So for example, the medical field, as we all know, doctors are super being paid, right? Doctors are superbly paid. So they have high revenue. That means when you make a film for them, the perception of what the film will cost them is a whole different one as if you go to a mom and pop shop and ask them to make, help them with a film or with an advertising. Because if you help them with your film to generate more money, and the ratio is always so that they spend more on you, meaning the filmmaker, than on what they make, they will spend gazillions. Determine which industry invests a lot of money into ads and films already. It wouldn't make sense, to thinking of some bodies, like, let's say, I could imagine like what could be a business? Maybe the truck business? I don't know. Okay, whatever it is. Determine which industry invests a lot of money already into ads and films already in order to increase their profits and revenue. So you want to kind of think about, is there already a lot going on? Are they ready to advertise? Are they ready to spend money on a film, on advertising, on a promo, maybe even a documentary that's kind of shown internally? So think about that. You don't need to. I show you a tool later where you can really drill this down to the dot. Now write down what is basically your own background, or probably you know that, but it would be great to have some key words. What's your own background? So for me, it would be basically, I'm very visual. I got education in music, so I'll write that down so that you have kind of at least an overview. What are your skills? Because your skills ideally would match with the field that you are servicing, would match the field you are servicing, would match the field you're going to service. Who do you know? That's the most important list to make. Write down who you know already from those fields. Write down their names. Where do you work? That's a question you have to obviously, you don't need to write that down. But, maybe there's opportunities in there. Maybe there is someone who has a father-in-law or a wife that already works, in that field that you would like to, experiment to conquer as the field of, making films. What causes do you care about? I think that's super important. Like, for me, it took me many, many years to figure out, what was our kind of hedgehog. The hedgehog is what you become the best in. And I thought, we were kind of, with our company, like completely generalists. We, catered to almost everyone. We, as long as someone wanted to film, that's us. But then I, distilled it down and I figured out, we are probably not the right guys making films for businesses because there's not so much money. Or, let's say documentaries, because there's also not so much money. But we figured out that the business we were in already to 80-90%, the nonprofit clients, was actually a great business because we really cared about their causes and support them. So it's really important that the field that you want to choose to offer your services, that it aligns with your values. It aligns with, where you maybe come from or where you actually want to go. So let's go ahead and see how we can find a profitable super niche based on your answers.